So I'm here with Little White. Little White, say hello. Little White, there you go. Yeah. So this $5 Friday, thought I'd tell you a little bit about her and show you how she's doing. You can see she's walking real well. So when we rescue dogs like her, a kind lady saw her dumped. Actually, somebody dumped a trash bag out, and she was inside of it. And when they got to her, they saw she couldn't walk or move. And long story short, we ended up taking her to a vet. And there you go. Yes, scratch it up. Yes, you could scratch. She's real big into rolling in the grass too. She loves it. What are you doing? Yeah. Okay, we'll come back and explain about that in the next video. So the doctor, he noticed, it was very clear, she couldn't walk more than 1 or 2 steps. I mean, she just wouldn't walk at all. And as he put it, the mind is willing, but the body isn't. She would want to walk, but she just wouldn't. And it looked like something, like an animal that's been hit by a car. It looked like, she had broken hips or broken legs or something really hurt, and she would try to walk, and it just hurt too bad. But x-rays showed no signs of any injury, current or former, and she wasn't painful. You could examine her and press everywhere and push and whatever, So that means it must be something neurological. That means it's in the neurosystem, basically the brain or the spine. And so we'll get to the treatment of test, but let's just treat her for spinal meningitis, brain infection, and let's also check for Neospora, which is a parasite. So it is not a bacteria or a virus, it's a parasite like worms that gets into the brain. And that parasite is transmitted through raccoons, actually usually through raccoon poop. And the dog doesn't have to eat raccoon poop. They could just somehow get associated close to it. Raccoon poop on food, raccoon poop in water that they drink, something like that. That parasite goes into the brain, and it can actually cause problems walking and other neurological problems. And so he did a test for that. Now that test goes out to a lab in San Antonio, Texas. It takes a while to get the results. In the meantime, he started her on a full regimen of treatment. A series of antibiotics and some drugs to help the antibiotics go into the brain and the spine. And that seemed to have, it actually did have, a profound, successful effect. She slowly started walking better, got better and better. If you've been following her story, you will have seen that she went from being able to take maybe 1 or 2 steps and then laying down to what she's doing right now, walking perfectly good. But she also got her test result back for the Neospora. Even though she's completely asymptomatic now, that test did come back positive, and we didn't treat for that. Oh, she's got an opinion. You tell him. Yeah, the gas man across the street is reading the meter. Her Neospora test being positive means she has to be treated for it, just to make sure we really clear it out. You're going to look at it. You're going to give us a look. And the problem there is we have to treat it with this special antibiotic, and then she has to be tested again in 2 weeks to make sure it's totally cleared out, right? And so actually, Little White turned out to be one of our lucky cases. When we got her, we thought she would probably be quite expensive. And she wasn't. She was a good girl. You weren't an expensive dog, no. And you healed up real well. But she still cost some money. And so I just wanted to talk about that, about what it costs to rescue these little dogs, so all of you would have an understanding of that. So let's talk about it. When we get a stray like Little White into a rescue, it's actually kind of expensive because they're almost never spayed or neutered. They don't have a microchip, and of course we don't know if they've been vaccinated, right? And so they have to get vaccines, they have to get a microchip, they have to get spayed and neutered, and they have to be examined by the vet. And going back and forth to all those things, right? Getting rescued from wherever the person that found them was, going to the vet, all of that stuff. Well, that we might have to pay somebody once or twice for transportation. Now, we get good rates at all of it. People volunteer, they just ask for gas money. The vet may throw in an exam for free or give a discount, but still it adds up. And then the next problem is if they actually have some health issues like she did. And as I said, hers turned out to not be anywhere near as bad as we thought, but let me explain what they cost anyway, even though it was a good case scenario. White had to have her exam. We had to do some x-rays to make sure there was nothing wrong there. She had to be in the vet hospital for 2 nights, for 3 days, while they administered mannitol. That's the IV drip that helps the antibiotics cross into the brain-blood barrier, or cross the brain-blood barrier, so that it helps fight the spinal meningitis, get into the brain and the spine. And after that, she had to have the blood test for the parasite for Neospora, the one they get from raccoons. So you can imagine some days in the hospital, x-rays, various medications, and even though we get a discount and everything, it starts to add up. And then the Neospora test, well, that's $150 a pop. Really good, really strong. So we have to do one Neospora test first to see if she has it. Then she has to get treated. That's about a 2-week regimen. Then you wait about a month to make sure that everything's done, and you have to do another Neospora test to make sure it's cleared out, and hopefully that would come back negative. So that's 2 Neospora tests you have to do, and it's, the vet can't really give you a discount on those because they are sent out to a third-party lab. In this case, there's a lab that does that actually in Texas. So you're looking at about $300 in tests right there. So even a stray like Little White, which turned out to be so much better than we thought, ends up costing, what'd you end up costing, Little White? What do you think? About $1,000 by the time you're all in for everything. And that's pretty typical. Even a lucky case with the stray is usually going to cost a rescue $300, $400, $500. And cases like hers, where things work out, when the dog is injured, or something's wrong, being $1,000, that's great. We're really happy with that. Oh, rub it in, you like that. And she could have, of course, ended up being many thousands. But the point is, even a little dog like her, where everything turned out to be pretty good news, and no surgery or any real procedures were necessary, just medications and care, we're still looking at about $1,000. And like most rescues, we charge an adoption fee, and with a cute little dog like her, we're going to charge our normal fee, which is $300 to adopt. But you can, do the quick math on that and realize that the cost is much more than the adoption fee would ever recoup. And so for us to continue rescuing little dogs like this, the money has to come from somewhere. And so when people donate, when you contribute on $5 Friday, a $5 donation, or a few really amazing people pop in a $20 bill, but you know what, $5 is just fine, that's fantastic. Those donations add up, and they help us keep doing stuff like this. And that's how we're able to get little dogs like this off the street and get them all recuperated. Right, Little White? Yeah? You happy? All right, thanking everybody? Okay, say it with me, Little White. Can you say it one time? Little White. $5 Friday. Say it. Woof. Woof, woof, woof. $5 Friday. No? Okay.